I think as long as there's no SUVs, we'll be okay. This song is a banger, by the way. Alright, we got another R34 because we definitely didn't have enough GT-Rs in this game. Honda N1 RS. I don't know what that is. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just fun because after asking update after update after update, we finally have the fucking Nissan Qashqai. I looked it up and this car is not only a compact crossover SUV, but also a 5-door SUV. So I'm not sure if it's a crossover or an SUV, but I like to put them in the exact same category. So fuck you, Kaz. Actually, I think I just found the Gran Turismo 7 leaked car list. I didn't expect to find that under Wikipedia, but all these seem pretty plausible. What did I say, huh? What did I fucking say? There's some good news, though. We finally got a new track. No, I'm kidding. You fell for that shit? Hang on a minute. 1.56. Good car. Okay car. Dumb car. 1.57, good car, okay car, dumb car. 1.60, good car, okay car, dumb car. 1.61, good car, okay car, dumb car. Eureka, I've cracked the code. The next update will be the Audi R10, the Hyundai Veloster N, and then a fucking Chevy Suburban. I don't know.
Now let's talk about the Nissan Qashqai, because this is actually the most exciting and interesting car in the entire update. Gran Turismo is about car culture, and the Nissan Qashqai introduced the crossover to Europe and probably the rest of the world. I'm disappointed that Kazunori did not introduce this car as well as other crossovers sooner, because they've become so important and prevalent in the real world. They need representation in this game, and I think this car is very deserving of its spot in this game. Cars like the Qashqai allow people to live their real life in the video game. More people are going to have a Nissan Qashqai than they are a fucking Z-Tune. And obviously, when we're playing a racing simulator game, we want to fucking reenact driving CUVs, which is what we drive every fucking day anyways. Kaz has been very intelligent by adding these CUVs and these SUVs into Gran Turismo 7. I cannot wait for Gran Turismo 8, the real fucking CUV simulator.
And if you unironically think like that, or have ever considered that being the case, you need to be put in a fucking mental asylum. I have never had a worse experience driving a vehicle than I have this Qashqai. I'm not saying Gran Turismo 7, I'm not saying it sucks because, oh, it's another SUV in Gran Turismo. No, I'm saying this is a fucking miserable car to drive. Driving a fucking CRV in real life and in Gran Turismo is more thrilling than this. Driving in fucking Ghost Recon is more thrilling than this. And that drives worse than the fucking crew! This car has a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, but it doesn't fucking use it for anything other than charging a battery. This car drives fully electric until it hits like half battery life, and then it redlines a 1.5 turbocharged engine to turn gas into fucking electricity! Even in real life, this makes no fucking sense! I have driven some crazy fucking shit boxes in both other video games and in real life, and I can say with full confidence, this is the shittiest, fucking dumbest, most idiotic, terribly designed, ugly, boring, soulless thing I've ever fucking witnessed. All the other times I've been playing it up. In reality, it's like, haha, stupid fucking Peugeot 6-speed manual. I like it when it falls over. No, this is fucking hopeless. It makes me want to die inside when I realize that there are people that actually drive a fucking Nissan Qashqai 1.5 e-power in real life. There is somebody who drives this car on a fucking daily basis. Daily. How are they living past fucking 20? I would have put a gun in my mouth by now. This car is electric. Which, oh yeah, save the planet, sure. I mean, I'm not gonna comment on that. But your argument is invalidated when you charge the battery with fucking gas! That is the lamest thing I've ever seen. Wow, look at all of these interesting colors. I guess I'll go with burgundy, but it was a really hard choice. And it's no better modified, because why could it be? You can take an insignificant amount of weight out of it and put like 20 horsepower in, and that's it. You can't even change the diff. You can do suspension and tires and those two things. You can't even do the diff. It's insane. It's actually worse modified because it handles shittier somehow, despite having racing soft tires and tuned suspension and downforce and less weight. Somehow it handles worse, and the additional power drains the battery faster, so you actually have to use the gas engine to drive the wheels. It's terrible. It's fucking garbage. Let's touch on the Z-Tune next. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I think we have enough GTRs. This is probably the coolest GTR, but I still haven't gotten over the fucking T-Spec. It makes a respectable 500 horsepower, but it still weighs 3,500 pounds. Despite that, it can certainly get out of its own way. In lower speeds, the car was pretty loose. It would step out under power. Not sure if there's some weird torque vectoring going on, or if just 500 horsepower is too much for the tires it was on. I'm not sure, but once you got into like third, fourth gear, it started to drive like your typical fat pig GTR. A lot of pushing, a lot of understeer, a lot of momentum going into the corners and braking. Wasn't really that great of a car, but it was alright, I guess. It was better than the Qashqai or Rogue or whatever it's called. I don't even fucking remember. The modified version, however, is fantastic. Whether you wide body it or not, there's some really cool visual customization that you can do. And while the stock car was relatively easy but still kind of understeery to drive, if you put all of the ultimate parts and everything else on, this car weighs 2,600 pounds and makes 1,000 horsepower. Now that may sound like a handful, but it is ridiculously drivable. This is one of the easiest cars to drive I've ever experienced in this game. It's freaking ridiculous. A lot of people are going to stay away from upgrading this car because it costs $3 million. I can't recommend that you pimp this thing out to the max enough. Like, it's amazing, honestly. It's so fun to drive. I'm not a person who likes GTRs, but this is genuinely one of my favorite cars in the game now. It is fantastic looking, fantastic sounding, fantastic driving. It's really good. Please try to upgrade it. It's worth it. The next thing to talk about is the Honda N1, which is a front-wheel drive K car. So now the Copen has something to compete with directly. I've never heard of it before, and I didn't do any additional research, but just looking at it, I can tell I think it's supposed to be like a spiritual successor to the Honda City Turbo, which I don't know very much about the City either, but at least I can recognize it, and I think it's a pretty cool car. The race it has you drive it in is pretty fun too, with the rain and all the other K cars. Unfortunately, it doesn't let you drive on comfort mediums, which is what it comes with. You have to put it on comfort softs. But it drove like your typical K car. It was really good in the corners. Especially good, I think, thanks to the extra short wheelbase. It does have kind of a high center of gravity, and I'm not sure if it's as light as some of the other K cars. But it did feel pretty good. It was significantly underpowered. I couldn't win the race. Certainly possible, I just didn't want to put more time into it. The styling leaves more to be desired, but it's good. The straight line speed leaves more to be desired. It's pretty bad, but it's a K car. Kind of have to expect that. The handling, I really thought it knocked it out of the park. I wasn't expecting such good turn-in. 20 grand is a very good price, especially considering the customization you get. So let's talk about that as well. It's freaking fantastic. I looked at this car and thought Honda City. So I saw the wide body option and I thought, oh, I sure hope that this is a Honda City Turbo 2R one make cup race car reference. And sure enough, it's an exact reference. It's down to like the way that the fender flares move around the body, the vents, the stance, the other aero parts that you can put on it. It's a direct reference to that car. It's freaking awesome. So obviously I painted it like the car as well, and when I drove it, well, it was significantly faster, but it left more to be desired. I was having some understeer issues. I'm pretty sure that could be tuned out though. I wasn't quite sure if it was rubbing on the inside and I just couldn't get the full steering angle. It felt like I could. It looked like I could. but it was either a problem with the front being too low or the dampers not being set up properly. I think the dampers needed to be a bit stiffer. Otherwise, the car drove pretty good. It was disappointing to see that it was that understeer, but like I said, I think with a little bit more time, I can tune that out, but I'm not entirely sure. It does look absolutely fantastic. I think it's a fun car to look at, and a fun car to drive in stock form. Even in modified form, it's just a little bit faster, but you may also be disappointed to find it doesn't turn quite as much as you might expect, at least not with the setup that I made for it. Let's talk about some engine swaps, because I finally have the time and resources to do that. Let's start with a Clio V6. It gets the EJ20 from the Subaru Impreza rally car. I think that's like the 90s one. It has 300 horsepower, which is pretty good. Until you chuck a big fucking turbo on it, it has 800 horsepower. It's a very interesting driving experience. I would describe it as, imagine you're driving a Lancia 037, but also imagine you're 3 years old, and that's kind of how it drives. It's manageable in the same way that strangling a bear is manageable. Yeah, you can do it, but it's not easy or a realistic expectation. It is pretty fun. It does take some getting used to, but once you get it, it really isn't too bad. I think I only tried 3 times, and I managed to not spin on the 3rd run, which is better than some of the other swaps, but it's still pretty loosey-goosey. You could definitely use some suspension tuning, because I didn't really change anything from when it had the V6 in it. It could do with some additional tuning, but it's alright overall. Imagine you're driving the literal best car in the world, and you get gapped by some fucking Clio. Like, what do? You have to sell it, right? Bugatti Chiron, more like Bugatti Chigan. See ya fucking later, nerd. Now, this is a car that I believe everyone has completely forgotten about, the Isle of Man WRX. Nobody drives this car. I didn't know it had DRS. I also didn't know that it got the LS from the BRZ drift car. So now it has 1200 horsepower, and the rest of it's the exact same time attack car. It makes it feel like a proper time attack car now. It's not undrivable, but it's on the edge constantly. Good luck keeping it in a straight line for your entire run. This thing's quick. It's very rewarding to drive, and like I said, it drives like how a time attack car would in real life. These cars are designed to be on the edge and as fast as possible. This drives exactly like that. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it definitely gives off the right feeling. So, I actually do quite like this one. This might be my favorite from the update. But who the fuck has ever driven this car in this game? And it's not just because it fills a hole that doesn't need filled. It's because it's literally unusable. I challenge you to go find a race in single player where this car is allowed to participate and is competitive. I already looked. There isn't one. Yeah. Thanks Gran Turismo, very cool. Next up is the 86 GT. This gets the 2JZ, so it'll have about 900 horsepower fully modified, and it's undrivable. This car is complete and utter dog shit. I would not recommend doing this one because it sucks in just about every single way. I did not enjoy my time driving it. I found it completely undrivable. I tried a couple of times to do this Tsukuba race without spinning. I couldn't. It just doesn't work very good. It's just not fun to drive. It might make a good drift car. I will give it that. It will make a good drift car, and I reckon if you don't modify the engine fully, it'll probably be an okay swap. Otherwise, avoid. This one kind of stinky. It's stinky like the song that's playing right now. This one I did quite like. This is the Celica ST205, and it gets, I believe it's the SC430, the Lexus GT500 car, the older one. And it makes 800 horsepower. It's all-wheel drive. It's still relatively heavy, and it's a 90s car. So it's relatively planted, but the brakes
suffer. The thing doesn't stop very good. The turning is okay, but the main struggle is the brakes. It feels like they don't exist, which is kind of a fun way to drive, in my opinion, mashing the brakes for such a long time and barely making the corner with a proper line. But it's pretty damn fast, I'll give it that. But once again, it's all-wheel drive, so that extra tire wear makes it unusable. I think it could have been a really good 800 pp touring car, but the fronts just go far too fast. Otherwise, it's pretty damn fun. Like I said, very planted. It's going to be hard to make a mistake outside of outbraking yourself, which I didn't do. In a sprint race like this, it's a really good shout because it's fast, it's fun, it's easy to drive, it's a unique experience. I'm not a big V8 sound person, but this is a decent sounding V8. I quite like this one. This definitely gives the Isle of Man Subaru a run for its money when it comes to my favorite. It might be this, it might be the Subaru, it might be the Clio. I really like the Clio too. I think the swaps are lackluster, but at the same time good, if that makes any sense at all. Like, there's not very many, and there's not anything that really blows my socks off, but at the same time, they're all like okay. Other than the GT86, none of them are just terrible and undrivable. They're actually pretty usable in the sprint races, but it's just practicality. They don't work in the real world, unfortunately. Ladies and gentlemen, I have saved the worst for last. This is the Mitsubishi Evo 10 Group 4 car, and it gets the VR38 from the R35 Nismo. But cool bloke, that engine makes a ludicrous amount of horsepower. How could this be a bad swap?
It's a 5-speed.
It's so fucking boring to drive. It's not bad. It certainly isn't good. It's just boring. You can't use it in races anymore because the fuel consumption is balls now, and you'd fall asleep. I'm pretty sure the 5-speed takes out too much torque. Especially on fast tracks like this. You have about 1,000 horsepower and some change. So you step on the throttle and expect this huge explosion of energy and speed and power, and nothing happens because you have a 5-speed, and it just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't really fall on its face either. It just doesn't move. It just feels like it's got 600 horsepower and a 6-speed. It's boring. I was super disappointed. It's fucking boring. It's boring. The shit is fucking boring. I finished my molting process, but I'm still shadow banned from YouTube. So, this will probably come out when the August update is out. So, that's why it came late. Fuck you, YouTube!